Hello, welcome back. Today we're going to talk about whether dropping carbs is your best way to lose weight. So for me, this one is simple. I know how I go about things. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about, why you should, why you shouldn't, and we'll go from there. Just give you the information. You do as you please with it. Okay, the human body should not be deprived of calories or carbohydrates over a long period of time. Here are some situations where someone or their body would indicate that it needs more carbohydrates. If you're pregnant or breastfeeding, definitely eat more carbs. If you have adrenal issues present or suspected, you need to eat more carbs. If you have high intensity workouts that are a regular part of your exercise routine, you need to eat carbohydrates. If your exercise recovery is starting to deteriorate, meaning if you're feeling muscle soreness for more than 2 days, or if you're just consistently feeling that muscle soreness, you most likely need a little bit more carbohydrates in your diet. If a low carb diet has been part of your routine for a long time, if a person is hypothyroid and or using thyroid medications, and if a woman's menstrual cycle has become irregular or has disappeared, you should be adding in more carbohydrates. Kind of the right off the bat, those are the main reasons why you should have carbohydrates in your system. When the human body is deprived of carbohydrates over a long period of time, several physiological changes and potential health impacts can occur. One of the main ways that it does this is by severely suppressing leptin levels and interfering with leptin's ability to help regulate the body's sex hormones. Let's have a detailed look at the effects of prolonged carbohydrate deprivation. So some short-term effects. So glycogen depletion. The body first uses up glycogen stores in the liver and the muscles to maintain blood glucose levels. Glycogen is a stored form of glucose and is the primary source of energy during the initial phase of carbohydrate deprivation. Depletion of glycogen stores result in rapid weight loss due to water loss as glycogen binds to water. Some of the long-term effects. So once glycogen stores are depleted, the body begins to break down fats into ketone bodies to use as an alternative energy source, leading to a state that's called ketosis. Ketosis can cause symptoms like bad breath, fatigue, and nausea initially, but may stabilize as the body adapts. In the absence of sufficient carbohydrates, the body may break down muscle protein to produce glucose through a process called gluconeogenesis. This can lead to muscle wasting and loss of strength over time. Carbohydrates are a source of essential nutrients, including fiber, vitamins, and minerals. So long-term deprivation can lead to deficiencies, particularly in fiber, which is important for digestive health. With this deprivation, there are some metabolic changes as well. The body may experience changes in the metabolism, including reduced insulin levels and improved insulin sensitivity. While this can be beneficial for some individuals with insulin-resistant or type 2 diabetes, it may lead to hypoglycemia, which is low blood sugar in others. This does also have an impact on brain function, which the brain primarily uses glucose for energy. Although it can adapt to ketones, prolonged carbohydrate deprivation can affect cognitive functions, mood, and mental clarity. Another thing to consider, sometimes in this deprivation, a lack of dietary fibers, like we talked about from carbohydrate-rich foods, can lead to digestive problems such as constipation and increased risk of diverticulosis. Another thing is carbohydrate restriction can affect hormone levels, including those related to thyroid function and reproductive health. In women especially, it may lead to irregular or non-existent menstrual cycles. And this is a big issue. Depending on the type of fats and proteins consumed in place of carbohydrates, there could be also an increased risk of heart disease due to higher intake of saturated fats and cholesterol. So let's talk about the adaptation and individual variation. So keto adaptation, some individuals may experience a period of adaptation, often referred to as keto adaptation, where their bodies become more efficient at using ketones for energy. This can take several weeks and may mitigate some of the initial negative symptoms. For individual, responses to long-term carbohydrate deprivation can vary widely among individuals depending on factors like genetics, overall diet quality, activity level, and any underlying health conditions. So while some people may benefit from a low-carb diet, particularly those with metabolic disorders like type 2 diabetes, it's important to approach such diets with caution. Long-term carbohydrate deprivation can lead to significant changes and potential health risks. Consulting with a knowledgeable professional before making substantial dietary changes is recommended to ensure nutritional needs are met and potential risks are managed. So all in all, when it comes to depriving yourself of carbohydrates, there are some people that may benefit from it. From a lot of the people that I deal with, cutting carbohydrates completely out of your diet is the wrong thing to do. If you are desperate enough to cut something out so drastically for the result of losing weight, then I feel that if you can sustain such a crazy change for whatever duration you're wanting to do, then small changes of your lifestyle to promote long-term sustainability should be easy to do. So when it comes to carbohydrates and weight loss, let's talk about that a little bit. It all depends on the individual coming to me. So if that individual meets any of these criteria that we kind of talked about, they most likely will have carbohydrates in their diet. What will determine how much carbohydrates you get is simply on the individuals themselves, what they do for their activity, and what their long-term goals are. So each individual that I have, probably not any of them will have the same amount of carbohydrate intake because not everybody's the same. So what I do is different from what my clients do, and client A is different from client B, C, D, and so on and so forth. If you feel that you're at the point where you need to deprive yourself of carbohydrates to lose weight, please reach out to someone. Like I said, it is not worth it. If you want to feel good for all the activities that you do and you want to lose weight and keep the weight off for a long duration of time, depriving yourself of carbohydrates, not worth it. If you have any questions or want to talk about this, or if you want to comment against what I've said or comment for it, please comment below. I would love to hear your feedback. Let me know if this is something that you've been thinking about, if this is something that you've done in the past. I would love to hear about it. Until next time, eat to empower and fuel for life.